afternoon, Justin here. Today we are checking out the Stevie Ray Vaughan classic, Mary Had a Little Lamb. I'm going to be showing you all of that rhythm stuff I just showed you then, and the slight variation he plays just after it. I'm going to save the solo for another day though. That's going to be a different video. So let's get to a close-up and check out how to play this tune. Oh man, this tune is so much fun to play. You're going to love it. Okay, so we're starting off with a little single note run. We're using a bit of palm mute there with the strum and hand, just resting a little bit in, so we don't get, get quite heavily muted. So like a centimetre in from the bridge probably. We're playing the open A string, then the second finger, second fret of the fifth string, the open D string, the fourth string, then back to the open A, the second finger, second fret again, open, then third finger, third fret of the thickest string, and then second finger is going to play the second fret of the fourth string. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. It's the count. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. You'll know if you've got enough mute on, because if you don't have the mute, just sounds all weird. So, and that last note there is quite short as well, before we get to the chord part. So nice little mute after that. Now the chord is this really interesting way of playing an E7. So second finger is on the second fret of the fourth string, and making sure the tip of it is just pushing up enough to mute the fifth string. First finger is going down in the first fret of the third string, little finger's going down in the third fret of the second string, and that's also muting the thinner string. So we can have the open thicker string, muted fifth string, second fret, first fret, third fret, and then a mute. Okay? So the first thing to do is to make sure that you can strum through that chord, making sure that the fifth string and the thinner string are both muted there, okay? Once you're hip with that, you want to look at the strumming. So we're going to be going down, up, mute, up, mute, up. That's the rhythm for that first bar. So we got the palm muted bit. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and. Okay, so make sure you can see the way that the strumming hand there is muting all of the strings with the outside part of the palm. It's really important. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Down, up, mute, up, mute, up, mute. Okay, so the last mute is falling right on beat 1. That's also important. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. Okay, because what's happening next is we've got a down pick on the open E and a down strum on beat 2. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. Okay? Definitely take a little bit of time to get that kind of strumming right and make it feel right. So okay, you really want to get that so it feels kind of nice and loose and kind of flicky. So the next little phrase we've got is this lead line. We're picking the A string, the fifth string, hammering the second finger in the second fret, playing that note twice more with a down pick and an up pick, then a down pick on the open A, down pick on the third fret of the thicker string with the third finger, and then second finger's going back down on the second fret of the fourth string. Then we got that same rhythm pattern, down, up, 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 mute. Okay, so it's exactly the same rhythm pattern there with the 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1. Okay, so those first few bars. Okay, now we've got another single note line. I love that line. So second fret to fourth fret, hammer on. on the 5th string, that is, 1st finger and 3rd finger. Then we play 1st finger, 2nd fret of the 4th string, down, down, up. So we're going to play it 3 times in total. Then little finger down on the 5th fret for 2 notes. Sometimes I accidentally play 3 there, I think, but it's supposed to be 2 notes. And then we've got this little... So we're going to play 2nd fret of the 3rd string with the 1st finger, hammer on the 2nd finger, flick it off, and then flick it off to the open. And then we've got an open A is the last note. Down, hammer, down, down, up, down, 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 hammer, flick off, down on the A. Okay, now we're going to an A7 chord. So 1st finger is barring the thinnest 4 strings, and 3rd finger is going to go down the 3rd fret of the thinnest string. Really cool sounding A chord. We've got the same rhythm there again. Down, down, up, mute, up, with the mute on the end. And then we've got, okay, same as we had at the beginning. And now we've even got, but instead of, which we had originally, we've got, okay, going up to our little B7. Where it's headed to. Let me get all of the way up to that point so you can see how those pieces fit together right up to the B7. So we got 1. So right up, most of the way through the first section now. So we've got the little climb. It's going to a B7 chord. The only notes he's playing is 5th string, and then it's 3rd finger on the 2nd fret of the 3rd string. So 1, 2E, and a 3, and 4, and is the line. Down, down, up, down, up, down, up. I think sometimes I do different picking of that, so pick whatever feels comfortable for you. That was just a suggestion, but it's these notes. Okay, first of all, it's just part of the B7 chord. Doesn't hurt to hold the B7 chord down if you wanted to, but you're just holding those notes. Then the 2nd finger just sneaks over to the 2nd fret of the 6th string, 3rd finger, 3rd fret to the open A. Now we've got one of the kind of cruxes of this song. Amazing line. So the actual line itself is a bend on the 3rd fret, just a quarter tone bend, 3rd fret, thinner string, then open E, 3rd fret on the 2nd string, flick it off to the open. Now we've got a slide with the 2nd finger up to the on the 3rd string from the 2nd to the 4th fret. Okay, worth getting that first. Now we've got a little rake, which is the open thinner string, 1st finger in the 3rd fret of the 2nd string, and then the 2nd finger still on the 4th fret of the 3rd string. Okay, and I'm still not sure I've got it exactly the way Stevie's got it. He's got a certain little special magic to do with how they're muted. So you don't hear all of the notes ringing out together all the time. Okay? After that little rake, which is all up picks by the way, should mention. Looks like I'm doing those all. So down, up, down, flick off, down with the slide, then up, then down, and that's a slide from the 4th fret to the 2nd. Open G string to the 2nd fret 4th string, and then the open E, the low open E, 6th string. Okay, make sure you listen to the record to get the phrasing of that. Okay, it's really important. It's very difficult for me to try and explain. I could attempt to count it for you, but it's just really difficult. Even I would struggle to play it to a count. So just listen. Slower. Okay, so it kind of hangs on that note after the rake, just not very long. Okay, then we've got a little variation here. Now this was an E7 before, the chord. If you lay your little finger down to cover the thinnest 2 strings, it's actually called an E7 sharp 9, and this grip, interestingly, it's the same as the Hendrix chord, this one here. In fact, that's often how Hendrix played it. A lot of books show it like that. But it's very often played that way, actually. That's how a lot of them are done. Stevie uses that one a lot, and it's used in this song. Sorry for going off on a waffle. Yeah, so just at the end. Okay, 1, so down, down, up, mute, down. And then there's a down, down, and that last chord comes right on the beat. Again, you've got to listen to it, rather than having where all of those off beats, 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and it becomes 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1. Okay, but that last little bar is using the E7 sharp 9. I was still playing the regular E7, so just lay that little finger down just for that last bar. So let's look at that whole sequence now. So let me just take you through a couple of the variations the second time it's played. So it's more or less the same. Here. Still the same. Now here, the first time through he does this riff to get to the A. The second time through he stays on the E7 and he does that riff again, going to the A chord rather than to the E, to the A, back to the E. Now again, the first time he goes to get to the B. Second time he just does this low E, thinnest E, 3rd finger, 3rd fret on the 2nd string, back to the thinnest E. Can't remember actually if that's a 2nd fret or an open. I think it might be an open that time actually. Open E string, 3rd fret, then to the B7. You want to put the B7 down straight away, and then he's playing 5th string, 3rd string, 4th string, then the top 3 strings twice, and then the open A string. So and now we've got okay, let me play that whole second section through so you can see that now and put all of those pieces in the right spot. Mary had a little A, E, yeah. And everywhere that Mary be, I for sure to E, yeah. You followed her to A, and then it's back to the E, yeah. 'Cause this is an 8-bar blues with a B to an A, and back to an E, yeah. Well, that's enough of that, I'm afraid. I'm going to save the solo for another lesson, but it's a fantastic solo and I'm just about to film it, so stay tuned for that lesson, which will be out very soon. Big deal with Mary Had a Little Lamb is making sure you get your time feel right, okay? So playing along with the original recording is absolutely where it's at. Learn the bits, make sure you know where to put your fingers, and then start playing along with the actual recording, the actual Stevie Ray proper one. If you can, get one of those bits of software that slows it down so you can play along at a slower tempo. That can be really helpful for some of the tricky bits, like the little that little phrase there is a really nice one just to cycle. Sorry, turn my volume up. And just over and over again, so you get the right feeling of it, you know, that you get the rake into practice and all of that sort of stuff. It's a really good way of working on stuff rather than doing it like with a metronome or just relying on your own time. Being able to play along with the original recording is absolutely where it's at. I'm sure you have a lot of fun with it. Make sure you learn the chords for the verses as well, and that you know, so if you ever want to jam it, you can play it properly. So I'm going to film the lesson for the solo right now, so please subscribe if you like what I do. I appreciate the support here and on Twitter and on Facebook, and I'll see you for plenty more lessons very soon. You take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.